Hi creatives, and welcome back to Agency Academy. Today I wanted to talk about how to set goals for your business, because as we have our own businesses, it's really easy to get stuck into the day-to-day, and it's really easy to just focus on client work and kind of forget about that strategy and peeking your head above everything every once in a while to think about what you really want from your business and how to get there. So that's what we're going to be covering today. When you have really clear goals for your business, something kind of special happens. So I find that not only do you start working towards your goals, but unconsciously you start making lots of decisions to kind of cut away the things that are not as important or that are perhaps wasting your time a little bit. And I think this is especially important for things like vanity metrics. So vanity metrics are things like perhaps Instagram likes or comments on your video that aren't actually really about the type of content that you're producing. So anything which feels good but isn't actually helping you reach your business goals. And you also kind of help yourself get further towards your goal by telling other people what your mission and what your goal is. And it's kind of special actually. I think once you start doing that, you start noticing that lots of people around you, they want to help out. And if you tell them what your goal is, they'll start finding opportunities and telling you about it. So that's why I think it's so important to be actually putting up really clear goals for your business. So how do you actually do that? The first step is to really focus on, why am I setting goals? Why am I doing the strategy session right now? And it can be lots of different reasons. And I really want you to think about this from a point of, because I have this business should be serving the life that I want to live and the kind of goals that I want to accomplish. So perhaps your reason for setting new goals right now is that you're not happy with your work-life balance, or maybe you want a different kind of clients. Maybe you need to make more money to have a better life quality. Or maybe you want to really switch niche because you're quite not really feeling fulfilled or satisfied with the type of work that you're doing at the moment. So all these and much more, of course, is a completely great reason to want to think about new goals and to set new missions. Another great one, of course, it can be that you've reached all your previous goals and right now you just want to set some new ones for the future. Make sure that before you start setting your goals and doing your strategy, you allocate enough time. I am the type of person who gets really excited about reaching new goals and setting new goals, so I tend to want things to happen right now, which is not a very good long-term strategy. So make sure that you're really thinking about realistic timeframes and giving yourself enough time, not just to accomplish the goals, but to actually decide what the goals should be. Because if we set the wrong goals, we'll be doing lots of effort for kind of in the wrong direction or for no reason. So the first step to setting the right goals is find your why. And your why can be lots of different things. It can be the type of work that you love doing, that you're super passionate about, but it can also be the type of people that you want to help, the type of companies, organizations that you want to serve, or a certain mission in life that you want to accomplish. Maybe you want to help only sustainable companies. Maybe you want to encourage or empower a group of people. So anything like this can be an important why. And I really urge you to pick something that is not purely financial, because this why is going to be the driving factor in everyday work that we're doing. And so there's going to be times when you have to make choices that in the short term are not financially very satisfying. Let's say you're switching niche, for example, that's a situation where you might have to see a little bit of downturn in your income for a bit, but it's something that will perhaps be more fulfilling for you, or it will be beneficial in the long term. And so if you're purely driven by finances, it's going to feel really uncomfortable making a lot of these decisions. Of course, you have to make choices when you run your own business that make sense financially, in the sense that you have to still survive on your business. But if you just have that as your only driving factor, it becomes really difficult to stay motivated throughout time. The next thing I like to do when you've kind of thought about your why is to write down the best case and worst case scenarios. And so this is something that will help be your guiding light. So as we kind of move through running our business, there's going to be lots of things that are insecurities that are coming up, fears that are coming up. And so if we address all of those worries from the get-go, and we also then address them with what's the actual outcome, what am I working towards, what's the best case scenario, it becomes a lot easier to tackle those fears. So I like to think about perhaps taking a piece of paper, folding it in half, writing all of the worst things that can happen on one side. So perhaps it can be, okay, I'm switching niche. Well, perhaps I lose half of my customers that I already have. That would be pretty scary. So if that happens, maybe I have to take a part-time job. That feels really uncomfortable. Or perhaps I have to move into a smaller apartment. So addressing all these things and thinking about how it makes you feel, usually it's not as bad as you make it up in your head, which is kind of the point of the exercise. Then you have to put on the other side of the paper all of the kind of best case scenario of things that can happen. So maybe you get to work with your dream clients. Maybe you get to have a much better work-life balance. Maybe you can increase your profits. Maybe you can donate more. Maybe you can work with the type of people that you are really passionate about. And so each of these different goals can be something that you're looking forward to, and that becomes the driving factor behind your business and why you keep going. Next up, we're actually going to be setting a goal. And I want this goal to be 3 to 5 years from now. Because if we try to set something, let's say a year from now, I find that it's so close in time that we feel like we have to be very realistic. We kind of know what we already did a year ago. And even if it can have massive improvements or massive changes to what you're doing right now, it just feels very close. So we tend to be a little bit less optimistic, a little bit more conservative. And so I suggest 3 to 5 years, because if you go beyond that, it also is kind of too abstract to think about. So perhaps your goal is to hire your first person, or perhaps your goal is to have worked with a specific type of client, or it might be to have your own office space. And so think about this big goal, try to make it really ambitious and something that if you accomplish it, you get really excited about just the thought of it, because it's going to be a driving factor behind all the work that you do. And once we have this big goal, we're going to be working backwards from this goal. And this is the whole kind of process behind setting really successful goals. We need to have that big vision, and then we need to actually make an actionable plan that we can work backwards from. So if your goal is in 3 years and you're thinking, okay, my goal is to work with this type of client and I want to have my own office space. What do you actually need to do to accomplish that? Do you need to put more work of that type of nature on your website? Then you can break that up into what kind of work do I need to show this year? What kind of work do I need to show next year? How do I get that work? Do I need to do more PR? Do I need to collaborate with someone? Do I need to maybe hire a photographer to take more shots of my work? Do I need to take a photography class to learn how to better present my own work? So all these things become little micro goals that you can then put in your calendar. If you're thinking about getting a new office space, might be things like, I need to research the different areas of the city. I need to make a budget for it. I need to start earning a little bit more money. So thinking about, again, all these goals and step by step, it makes it a lot more achievable, and it also makes it a lot more actionable, which is a really, really key point to actually achieving your goals. So leading on from that point, the last step is to actually put in your goals in a calendar and then track your progress. And so if we just have this big goal, but we don't actually put it in our calendar, it becomes more of a dream rather than a goal that we're working towards. And so find a method that works for you. If you want to put it up in your calendar, you want to put the different part goals, and then maybe once a month you check in on how they're going. Another great thing is to join accountability groups, and this is really good, especially when you have long-term goals, because it is a group of people where you meet up, let's say once a month, and you can do it virtually, you can do it in person and have a coffee, and you're just setting goals each time saying, actually, this is my big goal, but for next month, I'm going to be achieving this to reach that big goal. And then as you meet up, you'll talk about how did it go, what kind of hurdles did I run into, or did I succeed, do I need support from someone? And if you're stuck, these people can help you get unstuck. So if you're looking for accountability groups, I suggest having a look at Facebook, because there's lots of Facebook groups with people who just want to share knowledge, who want to help each other, support each other. And of course, you can also join our Facebook group called Creative Hold, and we can function as your accountability group. If you're looking for something that is not just a calendar, but you're looking for something more actionable, like a to-do list, I suggest using Trello, and you can put your different tasks into like what you need to do, what you are working on, and what you have finished. And that way it also becomes really tangible for actually just seeing all the things you've already done, which is really encouraging and getting you to your end goal. What I really urge you to do is, if you're using a Trello board and you're putting in the different tasks, put dates on all the different tasks. Because if you just put them in and you don't put dates, we're going back to that dream and not so much the actionable plan again. So I really hope that you found this helpful. I would love to hear what your goals are, so you can share it in the comments of this video, or you can join our group on Facebook called Creative Holds. If you thought this video was helpful, I think you would really like our project management series. It talks all about how to go from feeling a little bit unsure or confused to actually creating a really structured process that will make your life a lot easier as a creative, but it will also make your clients super excited about working with you. So I'll put that right here. You can go check that out, and I'll see you next time. Good luck! So now we're going to dive into the template. You can find that in the description below, and then we're going to go through how we created it so that you can add and remove any steps that you find useful or that are not so appropriate for your business, and you can really make it fit your business and your needs.